In this video, I'm going to be explaining how to play the game Beady by LogicMills. This is a 3 to 8 player game, and the objective of this game is for each player to create their own bracelets using the central beads. Now, just like a real bracelet, when you create it, you have one side that has a clasp, and then you have all the other beads in a row until the end, where maybe you have a chain at the end. Now, there are two ways to win this game. The first way is to have 5 beads of the same color in a row. So for example, I had a yellow, a red, and then 5 greens. The 5 greens, once I place that fifth green bead, means that I win the game. The second way to win this game is to have the most number of points once all the center beads are gone. Alright, now how do you play this game? First off, what you're going to want to do is to remove all of these cards from the deck. These are the point scoring cards, and they also help indicate which side of your own chain or bracelet is going to be the clasp side and the chain side. Just for reference, it's going to be your own left that has the clasp and your own right that has the chain, so you simply place it in front of you. Now, let's say that I'm playing with 2 other people, and place one more in front of the main chain. This is also to indicate which side of the main chain is the clasp. Sorry, clasp is over here following this, and which one is the chain. So for everybody, it is always going to stay the same once it is decided which side is your clasp and which side is your chain. Now, as you go along this game and you're slowly building your bracelet, you will consistently build to either the clasp or the chain, keeping it the same. Now, you can remove the rest of these and place it off to the side. You don't need them anymore. And what you're going to do next is shuffle all of the remaining cards. Okay. Once it is shuffled, you deal out 2 cards to each player. And you place the remaining as a deck in the center. Now the game works as the first player will draw 1 card and then play 1 card. Now, just as a little bit of setup, if anybody starts with these cards, which is the bracelet break or the full bracelet, then you just shuffle them back into the deck and take a new card. Okay? Now, when I'm playing a card, you will see that there are a variety of different cards. Let me quickly explain to you what they are and how they work. Now, the main cards are going to either be a chain card, like these red ones, or a clasp card, like these blue ones. For both of these 2 different types, you have ones with 1, 2, and 3. So 1 chain, 2 chains, 3 chains, or you have 1 clasp, 2 clasps, and 3 clasps. What these are indicating is how many of the beads you get to take from the main chain. Let's say that it was my turn and I decided to play this one, I drew 1, now I play 1, I decide to play this, 2 clasps, I place it to the discard pile, and I get to take 2 beads from the center chain on the side that I drew. So now here, referring to this card, on the right hand side for me would be the chain side, so I get to take 2. Now I get to start building my own bracelet. With these beads that I took, I decide what order I would like to place them in, and ta-da! I have now started to build my own bracelet. Once I have decided the order, I may not change it, and these are now on my string to creating my bracelet. Once I have played my card, it is now the next player's turn, and they get to draw a card and play a card. So similarly, let's say that they played a 3 clasp, place it into the discard pile, and they get to draw 3 from the clasp side of the main chain. Again, they get to decide what order they would like to place it in, and they have now started to build their own bracelet. Next player's turn. Let's say that they drew this card, which is the half and half. It has both the clasp and the chain. place a discard, they get to take one bead from the chain side and one bead from the clasp side, and again, they're building their own bracelets. So when it gets back to my turn, let's say I played this, I get to take one from the clasp, and now I am adding it to my clasp side, all right? Played this, clasp, take from clasp, put onto the clasp side. So I'm always keeping it consistent. So if it's a clasp bead, it stays as a clasp bead. All right, going good. Now, I have a couple special cards. Now, if it is your turn and you draw either of these two cards, a full bracelet or the broken bracelet, it must be played immediately. So, earlier, we were able to draw and then choose which card we wanted to play. However, if I were to draw this card, then I have to play it immediately. I do not get to play my other cards. What happens when I draw this is we need to look around the table at all of our own bracelets and see who has the longest consecutive beads on the outside. Now at this point we all have the same because we only have one of each color. But let's say that I had this instead on this side. And now let's see, I have 3 blue beads on the outside, whereas everybody else only has 1. What happens to me very sadly is that this goes to discard, and all of these 3 beads are taken out and unfortunately discarded. Very sad, I know, so it's a bad, sad card. So even if I were the one to play it, it may happen to me or either one of my 2 players, just whoever has the longest number of beads or consecutive same colored beads on the outside. Let's say that it was inside, nothing happens because we all have the same. So my beads here are protected because they're in the middle of the strand, just like a bracelet, you know. So if you have it on the inside of a string, they won't fall out. But the ones on the ends might fall off the string, unfortunately, if it were to break and some beads were to fall onto the floor. Very sad. Now, in contrast, the other special card that we have is the fixed bracelet card. So you can see none of the beads have fallen out. If I were to draw this, I play it immediately, and we look at who has the fewest number of beads in total. Let's say this player has 3 beads, I have 5, they have 2. Then this card goes to them, and they keep it for the rest of the game. And at the end, this card is worth 5 points. So whatever their score is, they add 5 to it. So this is a happy good card, whereas unfortunately the broken chain card can be quite dangerous sometimes. Now, let's talk about endgame. Oh wait, sorry, I have one special card. This is my robber card. And if I were to play it, I can choose when I want to play it. I do not have to play it immediately, but let's say I decided to play it, I get to look at my fellow players, not the central chain, but my fellow players, and steal one of their beads from the outside. So remember, from the outside, just like a regular bracelet, you cannot just simply pull out a bead from the center of it. You have to take from the ends. So let's say, I want their red bead, so I get to take it and add it to mine. Yay! You can add it to either side that you would like. It does not have to follow theirs, but it does have to go on the end. All right, now finally moving on to endgame. Endgame, just to reiterate, is when you have 5 beads of the same color in a row. Let's say I had managed to put 5 blues all together, then woohoo, I'm the winner. The other way to win is, let's say, all the beads in the center have been taken out, they've been added to our own personal bracelets, and the last one was just taken in, then the game stops, and then we count who has the most number of points. So remember, this is our point cards. The 2 would be worth 4. Let's say I only had 4 here, sorry. 4 beads is worth 16, and 1 is worth 1. So I have 1 plus 16 is 17. plus 4 is 21, I believe. So then you just total all of that up. Don't forget to add in your complete bracelets, which is plus 5, and then you see whoever has the highest score is the player that wins. Thank you!